Hi everyone, thank you so much for inviting me to tonight's session on transitioning to adult services. I know that this can be a stressful and overwhelming time for a lot of families, so hopefully I can bring you some information that brings you a bit of peace of mind. My name is Julia Gordon. I'm from the Ottawa Rotary Home. I'm going to provide you with a little bit of information on our services, our home, and what that transition looks like for individuals who are coming out into adulthood. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you all in person tonight, but I've included all my contact information at the end of the slide. You can also reach out to Aileen, who has my information, in case you'd like to reach out or have any questions, comments, or concerns. The Ottawa Rotary Home exists to support children and adults with physical disabilities and medical complexities. So our most popular programs are our respite services, but we also have an adult day program as well as a residential program at our Leitrim location, which is around the south end of Ottawa, Bank and Leitrim area, as well as a residential home on Rochester Street, so just downtown. We have been in operation for just over 40 years, and we open to try and support the community with a huge need for respite services for kids with complex medical needs. And over time, that need has grown, which supported us in opening our secondary home at Leitrim. And I'm hoping I can give you a bit of information on all the programs that we currently have, what eligibility looks like for those programs, and how we might be able to help you and your family. So the main programs that I'm going to be talking to you all about tonight are our Children's Overnight Respite Program and our Adult Respite Program. You're probably wondering why I'm talking about our Children's Respite Program, given that this is about transitioning to adult services. However, the Rotary Home's Children's Respite actually goes until age 21. And then age 21 and up, that's when they would transition to our adult respite services. Our Children's Overnight Respite Program is funded through the Ministry of Community Children's Social Services, and the cost for that program is $10 per day. We are open 356 approximately days per year, but we do have a brief closure over the Christmas holidays. In terms of availability, we have a total of 11 respite beds on our children's side, with 2 additional emergency respite beds as well. So those can be used in last minute urgent situations that might come directly from family, but can also be requested through other social services organization or developmental services organizations. Our adult respite program, like I said, starts at age 21. We do receive a small pocket of funding from MCCSS, but that program is very heavily reliant on our fee-for-service programs and our donations to operate. We are very fortunate and have funded and fee-for-service options available, so there remains a funded rate of $28.75. But if you're looking to pay for services using passport funding, that would be $325 per night. Again, this program is open 356 days a year. We have a brief closure over the Christmas holidays, but in the past we have been able to support emergency visits, over the holiday season as well. I just wanted to briefly mention that we also have 2 residential programs. So these programs run out of both our locations, our Leitrim and our Rochester location. Unfortunately, all of our vacancies are currently full, but if you are interested in our residential program, we receive all of our referrals through Developmental Services Ontario. So we're not able to support any requests for those programs without a referral, unfortunately. So your loved one will get a chance to meet some of our residents if they're staying with us for respite, as that program is shared between respite and residential. I just wanted to take a couple minutes to talk a little bit about what a day looks like at the Rotary Home. This is a question that we get from a lot of families, like what time does my child wake up? What time do they have breakfast? And so I wanted to provide some reassurance that our programs are totally person-centered. Throughout the intake process, one of the steps that we take is reviewing those intake forms. And on those forms, it's going to ask a lot of specific questions about what your child's routine is like at home. So what time do they like to get up and have breakfast? What time do they like to have their bath or shower? The purpose of those forms and the developing care plan is that we're able to tailor routines in our day around the needs of your child. The goal is to make them as comfortable as possible, make sure that they really enjoy their time with us, but also that their day kind of mimics what their day looks like at home, just for a really smooth transition. The only thing that we tend to do the same every day is what time we have dinner, which is usually around 5 or 5:30. That being said, we recognize that we have some kiddos who have G-tube schedules and things like that we're happy to work around, but that is kind of one consistent that we have at the Rotary Home. One of the other biggest questions that we get is about our staffing ratios. So I wanted to just jot down a few points about that here. Our ratios do depend on the program based on the funding envelopes that we receive. In terms of our children's respite program, the daytime ratio is about 1 staff to 2 clients. Our staff team for all programs is made up of RPNs, developmental services workers, personal support workers. We do have some with child and youth worker backgrounds. We do have a very diverse team, which is hugely supportive of ensuring we kind of tick all the boxes and meeting the needs of our clients. In terms of our overnight ratios, those do go up to 1 to 6. We have nursing supports available in our children's respite program, and we do have some nursing oversight for our adult respite program, but we're not able to support individuals with significant or one-to-one nursing needs in that program. We simply just don't receive the funding for that at the moment. In terms of current availability, we get a lot of questions from service providers as well as families wondering about potential wait lists. So right now, all of our programs are operational. We don't have any wait lists to enter into the programs. So we are accepting new intakes into both our children's respite and adult respite program, and there's no wait list to start the intake process. We do have a waiting list for certain popular dates throughout the year that we know families are always looking for respite time, but there is no wait list to access the program in general. Respite offerings are really based on family requests, demand for services, and staffing availability. But at the moment, we're offering about a minimum of 4 respite visits per year, and those vary in length. One of the really kind of wonderful things about our program is most schools and bus companies work really closely with us, and so we are able to support families in accessing transportation to and from school or to and from a day program. So if you have questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me. I know that some families do have limitations in terms of the bus company that they use, but hopefully we can do some advocacy and make something happen for you if that's what you're looking for. I know that this was a very quick presentation in terms of the services that the Ottawa Rotary Home provides, but if you have questions or are looking about how can you start, this is my contact information. One of the other things that I wanted to point out was oftentimes we work really closely with Roger Nielsen House, and if you are currently accessing services there and are interested in accessing services with the Rotary Home, we are able to share forms with your consent to hopefully minimize the paperwork that you have to do if you're interested in coming to Rotary. So feel free to chat with your team members at RNH if that's something you're interested in. But any questions, comments, or anything you want to share, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to hear from you. Right now we are in full swing in terms of offering respite programs, and hopefully we get to see you and your family sometime soon. Thank you so much for having me.